Hi everyone, an army course teaching Jewish heritage and tradition, the largest Chanukiah in the world, the physics behind the Sivivon, the dreidel, and art from Judea and Samaria. Let's get this show on the road. Shalom and welcome to Israeli Salad. First, let's meet a group of IDF soldiers who, while taking part in the important mission of maintaining Israel's security, also took part in a special course that is enabling them to be a closer part of the Jewish nation. Although the IDF is busy with the war against Arab terror, the army is still implementing programs to strengthen soldiers' connection to their roots. Around 400 soldiers gathered in the Jerusalem theater to celebrate their completion of a special course called Nativ.
The IDF also participates in social missions. One of those social missions is helping those who feel part of the Jewish nation that are not Jewish go through the necessary process to fulfill their wish.
The course is a joint initiative of the IDF and the Jewish Agency. The Nativ course includes a thorough educational program. At the end of the course, a soldier with a non-Jewish mother can complete his or her conversion process.
I feel relieved that I finished it, but because it was kind of hard to do, and I became a little bit. I changed a little bit. I became a little bit different of a person.
I feel that I completed an awesome course. I learned a lot. The staff taught me things that were important for me to know.
Yesterday, when we all sat and we all talked, I realized that I really needed it, and I appreciate all of the people that did this course for this opportunity.
According to the Jewish Agency, among the nearly 20,000 new immigrants who serve in the IDF, around 8,000 are not officially Jewish according to Jewish law. And so the Nativ project is considered very important and historical.
I see here a very significant hope for the future of the Jewish people.
For Vladimir, one of the soldiers undergoing conversion, the event was a double celebration. After he completed his course, Vladimir's mother immigrated to Israel.
I'm happy, I'm proud. I never knew that my son was interested in this.
These soldiers who converted to Judaism feel a strong connection to the Jewish people. Much of these feelings come as a result of their army service, where they met the people and the heritage.
I wasn't so interested in all of these things before I came to the army, and then when I was in the army, I just heard from a lot of people that did this course that it's interesting and it's fun.
Jewish education in the army continues throughout the entire time of military service. When you serve in the army in the various locations, every location has its history. There isn't a single place in this country without a connection to history or to the Bible. It happens throughout the entire army service. In many ways, it helps me understand why I'm here. It lets me serve in the army without forgetting why I'm serving, what I'm protecting.
And now let's go back to the holiday of Chanukah that was just celebrated throughout the world. The main precept, mitzvah, of Chanukah is the Chanukah menorah, the Chanukiah. The Chanukiah is lit each day on Chanukah to publicize and spread the word of the miracles related to the historical victory of the Jews over the Greeks in the Maccabean period. So what better way to publicize these miracles than making the world's biggest Chanukiah? This big Chanukiah is actually not a real Chanukiah because it's electric. It was placed near the entrance to Jerusalem by the Meir Panim charity organization. On one of the nights of Chanukah, I spoke with David Roth from Meir Panim. Shalom, David.
Shalom, Yoni.
You're standing in front of what is probably the biggest Chanukah menorah ever. So what's the meaning of this Chanukiah? Why did your organization put it up?
As you know most probably, Meir Panim is an organization which we have 11 restaurants throughout Israel that we feed 5,600 people a day for free. Plus, we feed in the schools 7,000 school children. This light is a sign to be crying out from the lightness, not from the darkness, and ask people all over the world, please help the needy children. Please help us feed them. Please help us make them a smile on the face.
So it's the biggest Chanukiah, but how about the light? I heard from people who saw the menorah from very far away. How strong is the light?
According to Gil Teichman, which is the organizer of that Chanukiah, it's going to be here, it's here more lighting than route number 1, which leads us from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem.
Now back to your organization's activities. I understand that Meir Panim was founded and is led by religious Jews. Is it a religious organization? Do you focus on the needy in your communities?
Not only we don't help only religious Jews, I could say, and we are proud, that we provide to 5,600 citizens a day in Israel. And it doesn't matter if it's religious or non-religious. Anyone that has a social security from Israel, which is called a Tudat Zehut, is being treated by us, and doesn't matter where he comes from Ethiopia, from Ukraine, from Iran, from any place in the world, he's being fed. Same thing is with the school children. We do not feed only the religious, we do feed the Israeli school children.
So David, if our viewers abroad want to help Meir Panim, how could they do so?
We ask people, please give us just $2 for a child and help us feed the needy children. You could dial us in the United States, 1-877-7-DONATE, which is 1-877-736-6283. One phone call, just $2, and you help make this child smile. We ask people around the world, not only money counts. Come volunteer, see what we do, be a partner with us.
David Roth from the Meir Panim organization, thank you very much for joining us and good luck.
My pleasure, thanks to you all.
Be sure to visit the Israeli Salad website. On the Israeli Salad site, scroll through all the editions, see what topics were presented on each program, and simply click on the icon to watch your favorite program. Also, watch all our fantastic music videos featured right here on Israeli Salad. So be sure to click on www.israelnationaltv.com/salad.htm. That's www.israelnationaltv.com/salad.htm.
Last week, Mark Kaplan introduced us to a dreidel artist who presented a variety of Hanukkah spinning tops, sevivonim. So that was the artistic side of the sevivon. Now let's look at the physics behind the sevivon's spinning movement. We visited the Bloomfield Science Center in Jerusalem to learn some more. The Bloomfield Science Center in Jerusalem decided to take advantage of the festival of Hanukkah that involves the playful tradition of the sevivon.
We take the sevivon, which is an ancient tradition, and investigate the physics behind the spinning, the physics behind the sevivon. Here we have a surface where we can spin the sevivon and see the movement. The sevivon spinning is not just around itself, but also around another point on the surface. When you spin the sevivon on this elastic surface and move the surface a bit, the sevivon moves in order to stay upright and vertical to the surface.
The sevivon is a game that has been played by children for centuries. So what makes the spinning movement so attractive to children?
It creates beautiful shapes and interesting things happen to the colors. Spinning is connected to optical illusions. You can play games with the speed of the spinning, who spins faster, how many spins, how long it stays standing. These are two connected rings. When we spin them slowly, you can see how the rings stay connected. But when you turn it fast, it looks like one is moving on the top of the other. What's happening is that the eyes don't see the entire motion, and the pictures are connected in the brain. Here we have a wheel with colored water. The water looks like it's trying to go out of the container. If we wouldn't have sealed in the water would have spread out to all the sides.
Like in many science museums throughout the world, the Science Center in Jerusalem teaches science through interactive activities and with the use of games and colorful exhibits. The Sevivon spinning display is one example of how the Jerusalem Science Museum chooses its displays and exhibits according to what will interest its potential visitors. For example, the Mars and Outer Space display is connected to the first Israeli astronaut, Ilan Ramon, who was killed in the Columbia shuttle accident.
We opened this display at the time that the Columbia started its mission in space. We're trying to make the connection between the headlines and the science behind the headlines.
Another example is the medicine display, where in addition to presenting the science behind medicine, the museum teaches the history of the 100 years of medicine in Israel.
We start from before the establishment of the state through the world wars until we meet the medicines that developed here in the state of Israel.
The Bloomfield Science Center in Jerusalem plans to continue to present a blend of fun and education, and whenever possible, the displays will be connected to Jewish heritage or Israel history.
Please send your comments, ideas, and questions to the Israeli Salad email, yoni@israelnn.com, or leave a message on the Israeli Salad voicemail at international dialing code 972-3918-5554. That's 972-3918-5554.
A three-night art exposition was held during Hanukkah. The exhibit featured works of professional artists, some who feel their works may be pushed aside by the establishment. Mark Kaplan attended the evening of art.
The Gush Etzion community of Neve Daniel is a 10-minute drive south of Jerusalem on the road leading to Hebron. An art exhibit was recently held in a home in the community that featured the works of artists from the area.
We all wanted to have artists who were professional artists. We didn't want people who did it as a hobby or people who had just done an evening art class. We were looking for artists who work and live through art.
A lot of artists from Yud and Shomron tend to get sidelined in Israel, considered probably too politically right-wing or religious. The art world's very much controlled by the left in this country, and this is an opportunity for a show to show that people who live in the Gush Etzion are relevant artists as well. You don't have to come from Tel Aviv to be a painter in Israel.
And people want to have the opportunity to see art, meet the artists, and to be able to exhibit their work. And this was an opportunity for us to open our house to artists that we knew and other artists that we met through this project. And the whole idea of the project was to raise money for the youth of Gush Etzion. And I think the project has been successful up until now.
It's a 3-night social evening. It's a great get-together, and we hope to form a small group of artists to do things together. Maybe have another show, maybe in Jerusalem. But basically, it's a very informal evening with music and a bit of wine tasting from the area.
And now our weekly insight. Today we're discussing the parasha of Vayechi, the last parsha of the book of Genesis, the book of Bereshit. Shalom to Rabbi David Sampson in Jerusalem.
Shalom Yoni, shalom to all of our viewers.
In the parasha, Yaakov blesses his children, the 12 tribes. Yaakov gives a different blessing to each son. How are we supposed to understand this? Why doesn't he give the same blessings to everyone? After all, they all form one nation, the people of Israel.
I think, Yoni, the understanding of blessing has to do with something which is special and unique to that individual. And that to give a blessing to a person means that we invigorate his inner talents and powers, and that we allow him to go with what he has. And that a person is doing what he's supposed to do. That's the biggest blessing that he could possibly have. We have 12 tribes. We have 12 different character traits. We have 12 different possibilities of worshiping God. The Arizal mentioned there are 12 gates in heaven, and that each tribe has a different gate and a different way to reach heaven. And that's something that today we have 600,000 different souls mixed among the Jewish people, and those are the different ways that we worship God, and they're all positive ways, and that's the blessing that the Jewish people have, is that they all worship God in their own unique way.
Thank you very much, Rabbi Sampson.
The Weekly Insight is brought to you in cooperation with Machon Meir, the largest Zionist institute in Israel, bringing people closer to Judaism.
Okay, that's all for this week. Be sure to join us again next week. Until then, from all of us here at Israel National TV, Shalom.